Think you have seen every queer horror show out there? Think again. Today we're diving into 10 terrifying LGBTQ+ series hiding in the shadows, the ones you definitely missed, but absolutely need to binge. So let's get into it. Imagine being so locked into fandom that you start believing you would die for the star you love. That is the twisted world of Swarm. Dre isn't a hero, she's a cautionary tale. A lonely superfan whose loyalty morphs into rage, paranoia, and brutality. As social media buzz becomes real-world bloodshed, the show asks, what shape does devotion take when love becomes toxic? With its surreal tone, horror-tinged satire, and grim intensity, Swarm forces you to question, who pays the price when fan worship goes too far? This series focuses on a sexually fluid young woman named Dre, whose obsession with a pop star named Nija. If that's not enough sapphic chaos, the show is also packed with queer faves, including Kiersey Clemens, Paris Jackson, and Billie Eilish. You can watch this on Prime Video. If you like your horror heavy on mystery, get ready to be obsessed with From. This series follows a group of survivors trapped in a nightmarish town where monsters emerge at night, and what happens during the day may be even more frightening. The town features a handful of queer characters, including the pansexual Fatima and sapphic partners Christy and Marie. Together, they share stolen smiles, quiet moments between chaos, and a slow rediscovery of hope. Their love isn't perfect, haunted nights, doubts, and danger come with the territory, but in each other, they find a refuge. In the darkness of the unknown, Christy and Mari remind us, love can still grow. You can watch this on MGM+. We love a good slasher and one that features queer folks in its lead roles. Sign us up. Rec plunges you into darkness the moment you step aboard the Sacramentum, a cruise ship where a missing sister turns into a nightmare. Jamie arrives under a false name, desperate to find his sibling, only to uncover a brutal secret. The ship's cheerful facade hides a killer lurking behind a duck mascot's mask. As the crew parties above deck, bodies stack up below. With every corridor echoing danger and trust unraveling, Jamie and his unlikely ally Vivian must risk everything to expose the horror on board or become the next victim. Rec isn't just a thriller, it's a collision of grief, revenge, and survival, set on water where no one can escape. This one is streaming on Hulu. If your horror tastes tend toward the supernatural or Buffy lane, then Dead Boy Detectives is just what you've been craving. This series, set in the same world as Sandman, follows two ghostly teens, Edwin, George Rextrew, and Charles Jaden Reverie, who solve paranormal mysteries from beyond. But when a witch named Crystal, Cassius Nelson, shows up in need of help, they have to dig into a demonic case that puts them on the radar of a rival witch, Ruth Connell, and the King of Cats, Lucas Gage. Truly, this show should have been the next big thing, but at least we got one incredible season of spooky doings and queer found family. This is streaming on Netflix. For fans of dystopian science fiction horror, Alice in Borderland is here to get under your skin. This Japanese series follows Arisu, Kento Yamazaki, and Usagi, Tao Tsuchiya, as they try to survive a deadly game they have been forced to participate in, set in a nightmarish Tokyo. One of the series' leads, Hikari Kuina, Aya Asahina, is a stereotype-defying transgender woman who is the group's most skilled fighter. You can watch this on Netflix. The Exorcist series is far better than it has any business being. How do you follow up a classic like the original 1973 film? This is how. The series is a modern sequel to Peter Blatty's book and film, and follows Angela Rance, who has begun experiencing strange phenomena that point to demonic incursion. In need of help, she reaches out to the church, which dispatches two clergymen, Tomas Ortega, a young and idealistic priest, and Father Marcus Keene, a seasoned, unorthodox, and bisexual exorcist. Watch this rent on Prime Video. For fans of horror that blends humanity and emotion, In the Flesh is the zombie drama you need in your life. The British series is set in a world where people suffering from partially deceased syndrome, also known as zombies, have been rehabilitated and allowed to return home to carry on with their lives. Kieran Walker, Luke Newberry, is a young man with PDS who is struggling with the process of reintegrating into his life, dealing with prejudice from society and his own trauma. He is also bisexual, and over the course of the series, he has romantic connections to both men and women. Watch this on Hulu. Summer camps are a classic setting for horror, and with good reason. The isolation, the teens going wild, the sheer number of victims to pick off one by one. Dead of Summer takes full advantage of its setting and adds a queer twist. The supernatural horror series is set in 1989 at Camp Stillwater. When spooky and deadly events begin to occur at the sleepaway camp, the counselors must investigate and uncover Camp Stillwater's dark secret. Plus, the series stars actors Zelda Williams and Mark Indelicato as queer characters. This is available rent on Prime Video. Witchy body horror with kittens? I speak for all sapphics when I say, now we're talking. This surreal horror limited series follows Lisa Nova, Rosa Salazar, an ambitious bisexual filmmaker who is hell-bent on making her short film, only to be betrayed by the producer who promised to help her make it happen. What else is there to do but turn to a witch named Boro, Catherine Keener, for some supernatural revenge? Watch this on Netflix. Think motherhood is scary? Well, just imagine one day a mysterious and manipulative baby shows up and takes over your life and you get the baby. In it, Natasha, Michelle de Suarte, is a 38-year-old childless woman who finds herself trapped caring for a baby she neither birthed nor asked for while trying to discover its origins. How is it queer? Well, pretty much everyone in Natasha's life is sapphic, so it counts. Watch this on HBO Max. If you want even more edge-of-your-seat queer content, don't miss my video on the top 10 gay thriller movies. It's linked right here on screen. Go check it out next. Until next time, stay spooky, stay proud, and stay watching.